Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullsht. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high-performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. So we're just going to be honest on this episode. I just recorded the last episode, which is super short and sweet. And as I was signing off, I heard my husband mock me and totally knocked me out of alignment. And I was annoyed because I was excited for the next episode, this one that I was going to record on a different topic. And so I kind of fussed at him. And I was like, that was rude and hurtful. Why did you do that? And he was like, I thought it was cute. And I said, well, that's not how it came across. It didn't come across as my wife is super cute when she signs off on that. It came across as you were making fun of the way that I signed off. And he's like, well, that's not what I meant at all. So I sat with it for a few minutes, being annoyed about it, and then decided, you know what? I don't want to be annoyed the rest of the day. I actually want to enjoy the rest of the day because it's still pretty early in the day. It's only 4:30 here when I'm recording this. And I have a house full of teenagers, and I want it to be a good rest of the day. And so I sat there annoyed, in annoyed energy for a few minutes, let it all sink in, and then decided, you know what? I don't want to be annoyed about this anymore. He didn't do it intentionally. It came across that way. And I'm going to choose differently here. So that is in real time, things that happen here in my life. Glad to share it. Also, it's now going to make me talk about a different topic entirely. So if you've been following along with me on my social media or you've heard my previous episodes, thank you so much for continuing listening. If this is your first time listening to me, welcome. I do have a very transparent show, and you will periodically get children screaming in the background. That is just how life rolls around here, especially with the kids home for the summer. And I'm not going to apologize for that. But what I do want to talk about today now is this idea of progress, right? So we recently had a pool put in our backyard. And if you look from my front yard, the left half of the yard looks great. Has grass, has flower beds, all the things, right? And that is often how we want progress to look. We want progress to look great right out of the gate. However, if you look to the right side of my yard, it's a disaster zone. The concrete is all jacked up from the trucks that came in. There is sand everywhere. There's a little bits of grass. It looks a little bit like a nightmare. Okay. And as I took a picture of the different sides of the yard a couple weeks ago, I just kind of chuckled at it because we want progress to look so great and neat on the outside that people can't actually see what's going on. We just want to arrive at the place, right? We want it to be well manicured and beautiful right out of the gate, even though what we're going through can be quite messy. And the truth is that progress is going to be real messy. It's not going to be well manicured lawns. It's not going to look great, right? If you take any progress during a construction phase, it's messy. There's dirt and dust everywhere. There's stuff flying everywhere. You're not entirely sure what it actually is supposed to look like. But there's a vision there of what we want it to look like at the end, right? And so oftentimes we get discouraged by the mess that progress makes, that we don't actually all take ourselves all the way to that full vision. And it's going to change along the way. But I promise you that progress is going to be totally worth it. As one of my mentors says, you can be a work of art and a work in progress at the same time. Because chances are you are farther along than someone else that could use your support, use you as an inspiration. And it's going to feel messy. And you're probably going to feel like you can't share the messy parts of it. And you don't have to share all the messy parts of it. right? There are messy parts that I don't share on social media. And there are also messy parts where I'm like, you know what? This is a part that we're going to share. We're going to talk about this because this is an important in the process kind of a thing that I know will benefit my audience. Just like I shared with you a few minutes ago as to how I worked through that altercation, that situation rather, with my husband. And it's just, you know what? Sometimes it's nice to see, and I don't mean this in a bad way, right? Like some people really love to like watch celebrity marriages fail and like all that kind of stuff. I don't love to watch that. Does it make them look real human? Yeah, for sure, right? But I don't love it in like I can't even come up with the word for it. I don't even know how to describe it. But it's not like I want to see them fail kind of a thing. That's not what I love. What I love about it is the humanness of it, like the side of it where you were honest about all the things that failed. This is one of the things that I love about Gary Vaynerchuk. He shares openly with the things that have failed along the way, right? And a lot of the self-help books will talk about, hey, here's all the things that didn't work, and then here's the thing that I actually found that worked. And that's really kind of life, right? Like I was sharing this with a client one time, and she was talking to me about how she was afraid to try something because she was going to fail. And I said, but here's the thing. If you tried it and got it right immediately, chances are you'd stop trying stuff. And so we don't necessarily want it to go right the first time because we wouldn't try that either. So we don't want it to go right the first time, but we also don't want to fail. And so we're kind of in this catch-22 where it becomes clear to us that the failure is actually part of life and it makes life more enjoyable. Yeah, I said it. I said it. The failure makes life more enjoyable because it allows you to course correct, and it allows you to give yourself a whole lot of grace along the way because we're not going to get it right the first time or the second time or the third time or even the 1,000th time, right? And Einstein talked about that when he was Edison. Sorry, Edison had a quote about the light bulb, right? He didn't fail 1,000 times. He found 1,001 ways to not invent a light bulb. And then it worked. And it's about these constant reiterations. There was another example that I read recently, and it wasn't that life was this linear path. It was these dots along the way where you learn these lessons and you anchor in all these different things along the way, that your path actually looks more like footsteps, shall we say, as opposed to a straight, continual linear line. There's all these different points along the way, right? And it's a great thing to reflect on. One, I absolutely want you to celebrate your past. If you didn't listen to that last episode, definitely go back and listen to it. It was short and sweet, really, really fun episode. Before my husband knocked me out of alignment, I am back into alignment. And it is what it is, right? So, but you should be proud of the progress that you've made. Yeah, sometimes it's going to be messy. It's going to look probably not how you want it to look, but it's great along the way. And it's great to say, hey, here's how far I've come. And yeah, my yard looks like a train wreck right now, right? I'm looking out the window. I have AstroTurf pieces that are all around the pool because there's a lot of sand and we want to keep the sand out of the pool. And so we have some AstroTurf that we've put around the pool until the concrete can go in. And I caught my ego the other day being like, ooh, you don't want to share this picture. This isn't the final product, right? Like why would you share this in the midst of things without all the concrete? And I was like, you know what? This progress picture is beautiful. It is proof of how far I've come, right? How far we've come, right? And I love the progress pictures, and I'm going to continue to share them, and I'm going to continue to talk about it because it is just a great reminder of the things that you can do when you commit yourself to it, which will be another episode. I'm not going to go down that rabbit trail right now, but that will be another episode, is the level of commitment and how that motivates you and moves you towards your goals. So I'm going to sign off here. If you do have questions about working with me, I do have private spots available right now in smaller containers. I'm doing 4-week containers for private coaching, where we are going to accelerate your growth. It is a massive activation session, and it's awesome. It's awesome. We work on clarity as the very first thing, right? We definitely want you to be clear on where it is that you're going, because you can't get there if you don't know where you're going. And we shift all those other little things that are going to get in the way. It is an incredible program. The reason it's 4 weeks, you do have an option to continue beyond the 4 weeks, but the 4 weeks is just kind of jet fuel on you to get you moving towards where you want to go. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye, love. See, that was perfect that time. Bye.